Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world.
I've been looking around for salvation. I've been looking around for the truth. All around me I see frustration, and I looked all over till I found you. I sit and listen to your stories, and you're telling me, please don't worry. Lot in this world you should know, and love in life is where you should go. If you're looking for somewhere to go, if you're looking for someone to know, if you're looking for someone to guide you, then love in life will guide you.
Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And yes, again, we have a very, very interesting live stream coming up tonight. But first, some admin. In the last 24 hours, the Loving Life family have once again shown, with God's grace, their generosity. The Krugersdorp charity, Honeyfields, have, through the initiative of Marlena and the generosity of Fiona Timms, now got a large fridge and large freezer for their crèche, where they look after about 30 babies, as well as very young children. This is the letter that Fiona received from the lady who I interviewed a couple of weeks ago from Honeyfields, who had earlier spoken about their desperate need for these items to store food. And you can see she basically says, thank you so much for your donation for the fridge and the freezer. It's basically going to change their lives at that crèche and that of the kids. Now, not only that, but Edward and Jarrett, who are on their walk of faith, which I cover most mornings on Loving Life, received a substantial donation from a New York-based Margaret after we put out an appeal for funding for a support vehicle. Edward and Jarrett are on a walk of faith from Howick to KwaZulu-Natal to Cape Town, and are currently on their way to Winburg after leaving Senekal this morning. One of the greatest joys I have through this channel is helping people, and the Loving Life family and our faith in our Lord Jesus Christ really fails to deliver. Thank you, everyone. Okay, now important news about the Loving Life TV channel. In less than 24 hours, lovinglifetv.com will be offline for between 24 and 48 hours. During this period, Rudy will be moving our LLTV platform to a much bigger hosting service. Since leaving YouTube and establishing what will soon be South Africa's largest single one-stop daily news and information platform on the internet, the traffic going through the website has increased exponentially and caused some buffering issues in videos. The move will fix these issues. The Loving Life forum is now well established. It is linked at the top of LLTV, or the Loving Life TV page, and has some amazing forums covering a wide range of subjects on South Africa. After the planned upgrade of the platform, we will start sending out daily emails to our thousands of registered subscribers. Now, I see we got a large number of unregistered subscribers following on Loving Life TV. The best way you can get all the news and what's going on in South Africa is to register. You just go to the homepage after this live stream and there's a register button there, and you will get the emails once we do the upgrade. This is a shout out to Rudy, who is putting a lot of hours to fast track this upgrade. Okay, tonight I'm speaking to Neil de Beer, whose leaked audio last week went viral and upset many of the white community in South Africa. Tonight, Neil will have a chance to explain himself about this as we discuss this leaked audio and many other issues. I'll get Neil de Beer on. Please remember to register to lovinglifetv.com and ask any questions that you have in the side chat. Let's get Neil. Okay, guys, I'm just waiting for Neil to respond. Here we go. Hi, Neil. How are you?
Scott, how are you?
Excellent, thank you. Excellent. I see you growing a bit of a goatee, are you?
No, it's an attempt for a beard, but it's a dismal proposition of failure sometimes.
No,
but we're trying.
right.
We are trying.
Now, Neil, I do need to ask you this question to start our discussion tonight. Do I call you?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm great. Now, do I call you Dr. Neil de Beer now?
No, I think a title doesn't make a man. I think you can flourish on so many accolades that everybody's trying to throw on you, but I think Neil is still the best thing. That's my birth certificate. Well, it's not. I'll have it.
All right, we'll talk about that a little bit later. A few months ago, you said you would come back onto Loving Life to chat at any time, and I thank you for once again joining us.
Pleasure.
As you know, I find you an intriguing character, highly intelligent, the gift of the gab, yet somehow there is a sinister shadow that seems to follow you around and undermine you. Now, I don't understand why, but I just, that's what people feel. Tonight, I hope to get to know the real Neil de Beer a lot better. So
the first hour session didn't work.
Sorry?
So the first 3-hour session we had didn't work.
Oh, well, we were then basically talking about. Okay, let's go through the talking points that you've presented and a few other issues that I'd like to go through. Okay, let's start off with that recent leaked audio tape where you made certain comments. Do you want to clarify exactly what you meant in that?
Yeah, I'm tired of the right wing.
Yeah, and you said you're not going to speak to the right wing again, and here you are speaking to someone who would be seen as right wing.
Well, you're supposed to be a Christian.
I am a Christian.
So then you can't judge, and we can't judge people.
Okay. Well,
from my point of view, I'm very clear, Scott. I should have used the word hurtful, not tired. This country, in my very brief 6 months of exploring the political landscape, is more and more falling into the habitual abyss of the far right and the very ultra-left EFF trying to make headwind in our country. Neil de Beer is now seen, and I am a moderate middle, cannot go on to every day be attacked and threatened and being listened to of the war stories and the ultra-right and the ultra-left wanting to destroy our country. And as a human being, which I have the constitutional right to say, I'm tired. That's what I said, and I blatantly stay with it. I'm not going to change my statement. And after 1 week, hundreds of people, nay, thousands agree with Neil de Beer. We are tired of the right-wing, ultra-right, white people, and we are absolutely tired of the ultra-left, so-called black leftist people. We are tired as the middle, moderate, that are trying to really not look for war, not look for ways of ultra-racism, but trying to make something work which is already, according to many, an impossible task.
Okay, now I need to address something you said there, and it's something that really pisses me off, okay? And that is the reference to right-wing and even ultra-right-wing, because it's like the R word, the racism word. It gets thrown around and it's completely lost any value or any context at all, because it's used as a weapon. It's a weaponized word, often by a group of people to try and get out of a situation where they're in the shit. Now, using the word ultra-right, can you, now hang on, Neil. Can you please, no, hang on, I'm going to ask you a question now. Can you please explain to me what ultra-right actually means? What is an ultra-right wing person?
Can I ask that we don't use foul language?
Sure. But that wasn't foul language.
Well, Scott, you know who I am. You know where I come from, and you have seen my book. I clearly know who the ultra-right wing is of this country.
Tell me.
So kom ek en jy draai nou nie boekies om.
Tell me who they are. Who are the ultra-right wing?
Die Eystergarde, die Suiderlander, the Boerevereniging, the people that are regarded as ultra-conservative right wing. You find them in America. They call the Ku Klux Klan. Now you can package the zebra like you want to, paint it what color, but the grouping of association of wording to describe a ultra-conservative, non-combustitive, non-movement grouping is right-wing. What else do you call it?
I'll tell you what I call it. I call it a group of people who want to maintain their culture. They are desperate to maintain. No. Look, I heard you out. Did you hear me out? They're a group of people who want to maintain their culture. Like the Boers, they want to maintain, and the Christian word is very important here because they have deep Christian faith and they are not right-wing. They just want to maintain their culture, and they have a right to maintain their culture. But their culture, please, no, look, I didn't interrupt you, Neil. No, their culture is under threat. It is clearly under threat. Well, because of what's happening around the world today. So are you now please listen, don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you. Are you suggesting to me look. Are you suggesting to me that the Boers are ultra right wing because they want to maintain their culture?
Are you Scott, sorry, are you going to interview me or are you going to speak?
No, we're having a discussion.
No, I'd like to be interviewed.
Don't you want to answer my questions?
Yes, but that is called an interview.
Well, I've just asked you a question.
So, you know I met Isak van Zyl. You know this.
How can he be ultra right wing?
No, I'm not asking you. I'm asking you. You know I met the Boerelegioen, yes?
No, I didn't. But anyway, go ahead.
I did. Yeah, I did. I then met his second in command, General Chris Jonk. Yes?
Okay.
3 times. He's now joined us.
Okay.
So here's the question. When you speak, and you were the one that hosted us, make no uncertain terms.
Absolutely.
You were the one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I was very happy to.
And I found that a absolute groundbreaking day. Found it, in fact, in many statements afterward, I found it a miracle interview. Absolutely. It was a grassroots interview of a so-called ultra-left guy and an ultra-right thinker. That is what we were boxed. And I want to go back to boxing people. You'll notice one of the things I want to talk about with you tonight is this book called Christians. Ne? But let's talk about the definition of right and left. If you are, and you were in that interview, and I remember your words afterwards saying, what an interview. You even said you're starting
it was
to
a
like.
great interview. It really was.
Now we don't. So let me quickly go through that interview. On the 10 points that night, which is recorded and published, I agreed to 9. 9. And it was echoed across the world. And I said, the only thing, Neil de Beer, I don't know why I am so important, that Neil de Beer and the UIM will not agree with is the fact of secession from the Republic of South Africa. I cannot agree with that. I will never agree with that. But in the interim, we agreed on 3 principles. The protection of the Afrikaans nation, the protection of the Afrikaans language, and no doubt, the preservation of the Afrikaner heritage and history. That will never ever be something that even I, as a white Afrikaans speaking culture person, will never relinquish in this country. Never ever. Because the Boerevolk, the Afrikaner in this country, has exactly the same existence right under the Constitution than the Griqua, the Khoikhoi, or the Ndebele. Now, Chris Jonker and Isaac and the Boerelegioen, if you speak to the common denominator in the country, they are seen as right-wing. It does not mean that if you are a right-wing classed person, that you are not allowed to defend your culture. There's 2 differences there. I don't class people like the Boerelegioen, BVN, even people like the Suidlanders, in certain of their opinions as wrong, Scott. I don't. They have the right to fight for their culture, but it is protected under the Constitution.
Right.
Which I highly regard in my country.
Okay. Now, can I just respond to that? You used the word boxed in when you were talking about a group of people. Now, you also used the words, again, right wing. Now, if someone who believes in protecting their culture, their way of life, their beliefs is not right wing, then what is right wing? What do you see are the characteristics of someone who is right wing?
You understood I fought them, eh?
Yeah.
When I was with the ANC.
Yeah, I know that.
And according to the ANC, the struggle, we classified who right wing is. So the definition I'm giving you is a definition that I fought for a very long time, so I can give you that definition according to mine. The ultra right wing, die ver regse, is that grouping that has not just decided to fight for their culture. They've decided to reject the other culture and to remain vehemently in this country in the position that they will not have a country of unity and they will not adopt a factual representative nation as constituted in 94. In other words, there is an ultra-conservative group, ultra, that is currently still fighting for apartheid. And that is my classification, Scott.
Okay, well, that's a different group of people too.
It is a total different group than your normal.
I'm pleased you clarified that. I'm pleased you clarified that.
Pleased.
I would suggest that on that basis, that it's parties, political parties like the Economic Freedom Fighters, that should then be seen as ultra right wing, because
Well, I
basically
would say this.
that's sorry.
I agree, but they are not conservative right. They are absolutely liberal left. This is liberal versus conservative. This is politics, Scott. And when you work in the realm of politics, your definitions in this country, according to this country, by the way, not another country, jy's of regs of links. You are either for the left or for the right. This is the current definition in the Republic, Scott.
But you said
Right
you
or
were
left.
centre, so you
I'm
don't fit
absolute.
either.
No, I don't. I absolutely don't.
Okay, all right. Well, look, let's move on from that. I just want to stick with the leaked audio tape, because there's something here that I find, as I said, I find you an intriguing person, and I just want to get to know how you think. Because after that audio tape was leaked, and it was a private, I understand, you correct me if I'm wrong, it's a private audio sent by you to one of your key people. I think it was Vessel who was sent the audio. Okay, it was sent to, how many people was it sent to then? One person. So how could it be leaked?
Well, firstly, the leak is illegal. You know that. It's
No, but
against
how
the
did
Poppy
it
Act.
happen? How did the leak happen is my question.
So what happened is, on that specific 2 months ago, Saturday morning, I was called by Warren Schultz. Warren is my head of communication.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
He phoned me at 9 o'clock on a Saturday. You can imagine, after being out in the street fighting crime, as you know I do.
Yeah. Okay.
I worked until 4 that morning. We had 2 shootings and 18 arrests. And he phoned me to tell me that on that specific morning, I was again 38 times attacked by the ultra-right movement and my life threatened again. I then sent him back a WhatsApp voice note saying, "Ek is nou moeg. I am tired. I am very tired of this." I then sent it, and then I also told him, and you see, Scott, this is the problem with my voice note. It's like a biblical verse being quoted out of context and not the whole chapter, because that's what we also do as Christians, you know.
Right.
If you read and I wish you will play, and I'll send it to you if you want to, the whole one, not the short one, the whole one. And if you read it and listen, like now, hundreds of people have come and apologized to say that they've now listened to the whole one. It clearly says, I say, if we're wrong, we need to be kept accountable. If we are right, we need to defend it. But I am tired of the white, right-wing people in this country. And you know what they did, Scott? They stopped it at white people. That's it. They stopped it there. Because that's what they wanted. They didn't want the whole story.
But
like
that wasn't my question, Neil. That
And
wasn't
then
my
what-
question. Who leaked it? Who leaked it?
Can I get there?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. What Warren then did was, he sent that to one and
Sorry, guys, we got a little internet issue here.
apparent that out of that leaving Warren in another WhatsApp, it was then leaked.
2 months later.
No. Yeah, the conversation took part 2 months ago,
Okay.
and 2 months later they leaked it.
Okay. Now this is the side of you I don't understand. Okay. And I look, you're a great guy. I as I say, I
Thank you.
like most of what I see and hear from you, but this is a side I don't understand. After that audio tape was leaked, and I know that Tanny, who's a friend of yours, was one of the first people it was leaked to. Then Anthony Hall and Rumcut put that tape up or the audio up, and they said, what a piece of whatever Neil de Beer is. And you took great exception to that. Now, and I can understand that. But in your response, you said, I'm going to sue the pants off you guys.
No, I didn't. I've never said that.
Well, that's the impression I got from your response.
No, but where did I? No, impression, but where does it say that?
Well, you said it's going to cost you a lot of money, and I'm ready. You said something to the effect you better prepare to respond. I've got I've got the video.
No, I would not say that, because what we are busy doing, and I will not comment on this, because it's illegal in my country. It's the Poppy Act.
So basically,
so I'm taking legal.
Okay, but the point is that Tanny himself made this point, Neil. Tanny himself made this point. He said this viral audio is everywhere. How do you find out who actually leaked it? Because the person who originally leaked it was the one who is actually in breach of the law, not those who were recipients of the leaked tape. Now, Anthony Hall was definitely not the person who originally leaked it. Neither was Rumcut. And I can understand why you're angry with them because of things that they said. I get that. But you clearly imply that, they're going to regret the day that they came onto Earth. It was that sort of serious a message you put out there.
Well, you should know me.
Tell me. I'm listening.
Well, you know me. You know who I am. People should take me serious when I get angry.
Okay. Now, this is a side of you that I think people really
read the book.
Oh no, that people find objectionable, because you come out like a bully. You come out like
I'm
a
not.
bully.
You broke the law. It's not a bully. You broke the law. I don't care what you say, I say. Because I'll say it in public and I'll say it in private. I don't lie. I'm not interested. I'm worried that you break the law.
But then Scott, why
you're wrong.
Okay.
You're wrong.
Okay, I need to just carry on.
Can I finish?
Yeah.
The fundamental problem in this country is the law, Scott.
Well, the law doesn't work in this country. We know that. It's a complete...
No. It might not work, but please don't tell me that we cannot attempt to keep law and order like I fought on Saturday in Mitchell's Plain again, where a man in front of me was shot twice in the chest, where I had to sit down with his blood gurgling in my mouth to help him. Do not tell me about law. We are fighting a war here. I am. Where's the rest of the people in this country on a Saturday night when 50 of me have to go and fight the gangs? Where are they? That's why I was on carte blanche last night. Because we are physically, Scott, fighting them and they're shooting us. So I cannot allow that dark wins in this country. I go out, you know this. I'm fighting crime, Scott. So if it is perpetrated by the flicking of a cigarette, urinating against a Vibercrete wall, or murder, it's law. Where do we start to take our country back, Scott? Where? By leaking videos? By taping? By attacking? I am on record and I'm waiting for you or and I give your channel every opportunity I've got, because at the end of the day, I'll tell you that to your face. I have a lot of respect for you, because at least you go out there and you say it. I have respect for you. I might not like sometimes what you are saying, but I will never, ever not give you that time if I can. Because you are at least that man standing up for rights in this country. I saw what I saw. I said what I said. But I want you to give me the opportunity of context. You have never asked me an unreasonable question, Scott, and I will always give you a reasonable answer. We are being attacked here.
Yeah.
And I am not going to allow people like Mr. Hall like Mr. Ramka, with respect, that attack me on an ongoing basis of my character, but not one piece of energy spent, Scott, on attacking the ANC or the EFF. Why so much energy on me?
Well,
Why?
there's a thing called jealousy, okay? But look, let's just continue with this theme because you mentioned Anthony Hall again. Let's talk about Anthony Hall just for a second. I saw a video of you both a few months ago in a very festive mood, proclaiming each other almost as blood brothers. What was so special about the rings you and Anthony wore on your fingers? And did you say, "I will take a bullet for you," when you spoke to Anthony Hall? I want to know what went wrong, because somehow
No,
it completely collapsed, that relationship.
absolutely flabbergasted. Absolutely no idea. I am still today on record on my last telephone call to Anthony Hall 4 or 5 months ago. It's on record where I called him. I said to him, Anthony, I will never ever backstab you. I will never attack you. I know you're a loose cannon. I know your mouth is sometimes foul. But I know the Anthony Hall that I spent a couple of months or a couple of weeks knowing, and I found that guy okay. What has happened, I must tell you, I have no idea. And I have tried on many occasions, evidently on video, not to lash out. And you will notice I don't comment on his. I have tried to understand this. This is a man who has 6 months ago perpetually started just out of the blue to attack me. He has made comments that are previously, I am his brother. I'm a great man. I'm the worthy president. I'm a good leader. I'm a good man. You can see the videos, what he made about me. 100% accolade. And then suddenly, he decided that he's going to run for politics after saying clearly, repetitively, he's not interested in politics. Now he's running for president. Scott, it's not about running for president or about me or about you. I don't need to run for president. I'm already a president of 2 or 3 companies. I'm okay. I have a nice life. I stood up and said, already from the start, you know, when I did my first press release, I will run for president because I believe I know the enemy. I believe I am world knowledgeable. I've had ups and downs, I've had successes and losses, but I am still me. To take on this massive task of removing the ANC, of defeating the EFF and their ideology, you are going to need a warrior. You are going to need a man without fear, but a man that understands war, that understands the atrocities of war, that understands both sides of the ANC and of any other party, but more than that, someone that can lead. And I put my hat in the ring, and I think from that day on, I have been open to every scrutiny, but I'm still standing. I will continue. Anthony Hall is very clearly on his own mission. I am not Anthony Hall's enemy. I will never be his enemy because you will notice my enemy, I declared it 3 times now already. It is the enemy of the people, it is the ANC and the EFF that have changed, that are no longer what I thought they would be after so long time. And I'm not going to continue with the Anthony Hall debate. I'll tell you why. When you become so focused on the battle, you forget that we are fighting a war. So I have no idea. The rings, I don't know if you know. Can I quickly give you the expose about the rings? May
Please do. Yeah, I'm fascinated.
So Some people wear golden chains, some people wear bracelets, some people wear rings, and I must admit I have an absolute fascination with rings from across the world. I probably have about 26. And my dad, God rest his soul, that passed away, he was a ring man, and I've never stopped wearing them. So that's the story about the rings.
Right.
I'd like to show them. I'd like you to see them.
Maybe at the end of the live stream. How's that?
Yeah, I've got a whole handful.
Now there's something I just want to
I gave him a ring because it was a joke at that stage. So I took him a ring and I said, "Here's a ring," and yeah, so that's me. So I must apologize. It's not a Freemason ring or an Illuminati ring. It's a ring.
Because there were suggestions they were.
That's all. Nothing else.
Okay. Now, I from a very personal, loving life aspect, I need to cover a situation that happened a few months ago, just because I don't understand what happened, and we haven't had a chance to talk about it. In a live stream on the 23rd of December, that was the one with Isaac, you undertook within 14 days to follow up the inaction by IPID against 20 police who had gone to a farm in Scotborough and attacked a white man, nearly killing him.
Yeah.
Despite both Marlene and I contacting you in early January, you never responded to these requests, and as far as I know, have never followed up as you promised to do. What happened?
I firstly, Scott, I must apologize. It was absolute mayhem. It's not different. It's still mayhem. And I must tell you, that one we failed. I failed, not my team.
Sorry, guys, we got internet issues again.
In KZN. Scott?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. Could you just start again, because we lost you for about 20 seconds there with the internet.
No. So there, I'm buying a cell phone company. I'm getting my own network. Trust me, it's
good idea.
So I need a media partner. So Scott, the incident that was discussed that night with Isaac about this person that was attacked in KZN, and that I gave a report that I would give feedback. I spoke about a week after that discussion with a major general in the Western Cape, which I know very well, because I come from that background. And I highlighted the request of, before I get involved, to hear both sides of the story, and I put it to that gentleman that I would really like to know because of my interview. And what happened after that is that, to be really honest, which I always am, we dropped the ball on that. I was then reminded again of it about 2 months ago by a lady that joined me on a Facebook. And I then said to her on Facebook, and Sydney, my PA, what was the result of this investigation? And we never heard back. And in all of what we are doing, even today, I don't know if you saw, with this absolute crazy incident in Witsand police, we are now again being asked to intervene. And Scott, we can only do so much as the UIM and myself. You know, we are becoming a court party, may I say. Because what else can we do except take people to court? Now, you know, in our country, I'm sad to say, the SAPS and police authority is in disintegration, and I fear today it seems justice as well. So I would like to apologize if we dropped the ball, if we did not follow up like we intended, and that is my
Right. Well,
If there is a remedy, if there's anything, we can only do so much, but we will make mistakes. I am fallible and I'm willing to apologize.
okay. Well, I'm pleased we covered that because I didn't know what happened. I can tell you from our side what has happened is that one of the Loving
Please.
Life family in KwaZulu-Natal has a very senior friend in the police force. She is now actually fast tracking and making sure that justice is done over that issue. Now, you mentioned White River. I actually
Yes.
covered that, in fact, this morning on a video on my new platform, which is lovinglifetv.com. And what
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. We've got off YouTube because it's just censorship. We're actually upgrading our platform in the next couple of days because we have got so many people now joining because we've got a very, very large spread of news. We've got several YouTube channels who are joining us. They're actually going to be on lovinglifetv.com as well, all covering South Africa. We've got a forum where we've got all sorts of topics being discussed, which you can't do on YouTube. And we've got a
No.
whole range of things that we're doing just on lovinglifetv.com. Now, I want to get back to White River. The actions of the police in that video that's gone viral were absolutely disgusting. What are your comments about what you saw?
Scott, firstly, we were going to send a letter. That again, here we go. Do they listen to our letters? We are going, and we're going to write a letter. Firstly, to the station commissioner of Witban Police, White River.
Yeah.
Secondly, to the Mpumalanga area commissioner, provincial commissioner, and minister of police. We are going to write it as the UIM, and we've copied it to IPED, the head of IPED. Just before I sent it, I actually was doing it on my Apple phone. I asked a question to my team, and I asked, is there any statement from three sides? One, is there a statement from SAPS? Two, is there a statement from the person that got assaulted? And three, is there a statement from the security company? I think they are called, I think it's Drager. We then finally this afternoon was forwarded by a guy called Tim Hawkins. We were sent the full statement from Barend, the lady that is affiliated to the gentleman Barend that got assaulted. We have their statement. I don't think SAPS is going to comment, so we will have to get that comment officially on record from the station commissioner, the provincial commissioner, and no doubt we are going to also exclaim this on. So by 12 o'clock tomorrow, we will release that letter to inquire on behalf of the UIM directly, an official response from IPED, from SAPS, and also from the entities that are involved. I am publishing that letter on our Facebook and our website tomorrow.
Well, I can also tell you that on Thursday night, we're actually going to have the guy who's in charge of the security company, or he was actually witness to what happened. We're going to have him on live stream here on Loving Life TV on Thursday night. Now,
but we also do have the copy, Scott, of our letter.
If you could send me a copy of that, that'd be great.
We will do so.
Okay. Now, let's get back to. I've gone a bit off the rails here, but I think it's been important because I want to understand Neil de Beer. Okay, I've got a far better understanding of who Neil de Beer is now. Now, I'm getting back to your talking points, and as I say, I got a bit off the track. Tell us about the mission and vision of your political party or your political movement. I guess, is it a party now or a movement?
Scott, we have decided to remain a movement.
Okay.
We will take the decision of party in the next couple of years. The movement UIM is now registered, and I am very happy to announce that we are going to contest as independents and as the UIM in the upcoming September municipal elections. We are still in doubt, Scott, I must tell you hot off the press, that there is a major fight in this country that will immediately, should this government decide to postpone the elections, we are ready to go to the Constitutional Court, because it is a constitutional prerogative that within 5 years after terms expire, they have 3 months after election expiry, 5 years term, which is in August, they must hold the local government elections. They are using excuses like COVID, they are using excuses like health, etc. We are vehemently contesting it, and we are demanding that according to the Constitution, this election takes place in September. Van die mense is hartvol. We cannot allow the feasting on this carcass of treasury to go on a day longer. So the UIM will contest 8 current municipal districts. We have identified them. We are not going in currently as a party. We are going to contest 8 such metros at the moment, and that is what we are going for as the UIM. We are fully prepared, we are fully funded, and we are ready to engage.
Right. Now, tell us about 2024. This is again what I find intriguing about you, because whenever I hear you talking about you going into politics, you say it as a fact, and it's very presumptuous of you. You say, I will be president of South Africa. You don't say, I'm going to be putting my name up as president. And you know the other person who said he was going to be president of South Africa? Hlaudi Motsoeneng. Remember him back in 2019 saying, I am going to be president of South Africa. And he got about 5,000 votes across the country. And then he said, that the election was rigged because he was the president. I mean, this is, okay. So what gives you the confidence that you are going to be president in 2024? On what facts do you base that?
Only on 2 facts.
Well, tell us.
One, I'm in God. And secondly, it's not about elections in 2024, Scott. It's about logistics. It's got nothing to do with elections, sir.
Okay, explain.
It's logistics.
Explain logistics.
Well, 17 million people voted in the last elections. 17.
Right.
Yes? That is the IEC stat. 17 out of 50 million. So number one, Scott, the African National Congress as they sit today, and this is clear, and I think you will agree, is currently running a country which had no quorum in the election, if I'm correct. A quorum normally is 50 plus 1. They ran an election, and the IEC authorized and let a vote and an election stand where they didn't even have a national quorum. So my opinion currently is the African National Congress has no mandate to be in power, because they only got 10 million votes. 10 million of 17 million people voted this current, illegitimate, unquorum, unmandated government into place. But that's good news, because only 3.5 million voted for the DA to make them the official opposition, and only 1.8 million the EFF. So let's focus just on those 3.
Right.
ANC, DA, EFF. They are number 1, 2, and 3 in this country, in Parliament. Now, if you told me as a very strategic strategist, as a person that understands military combat and strategy planning, those odds, I'll take those odds. But if you told me 35 million people voted, 40 million people voted, I must be really frank with you, not honest because I am. My odds of stating that I will become the president-elect of this country, or that I will become a force of a party to be reckoned with, I think I would not have been that confident. But Scott, is only 17 million people that voted. That means, in calculation, we've got 35 million people that did not vote in this country. This means that some or other reason, the majority people in the Republic refused to vote, was not interested to vote, or didn't care to vote. I'll take those odds. I'll take them. Because what you need to do now is you must, no doubt, logistically move 12 million people. Now, if you are telling me that if I, the UIM, can move 12 million people in 2024 twice, then we take over government.
What do you mean by move them twice?
You've got to take them to register and you've got to take them to vote, Scott.
Twice. Okay, you're talking about the process. Yeah,
sure. I don't care about politics.
Look,
it's not about politics.
I think I think the reason people don't vote in South Africa is because a lot of them are rural. They'd rather sit there and do whatever they normally do than go and sit in a long queue and vote. They have no understanding of the national political structure. They just know that they've got a local chief, and he's the guy they're going to talk to. How are you going to get to those people?
I'm going to help them.
How?
I'm going to help them.
How?
I'm not going to tell you.
You're not going to?
I'm not going to tell you. No, I'm not going to tell you.
Okay. So this is a secret. This is a strategy. Okay, I get it. So your strategy is to get to those people.
I'm going to tell you when you make me that curry, which you invited. And I'm going to bloody tell you.
Well, you got to come to Brisbane first.
I am coming, by the way.
Okay. Now,
maybe if you give me 2 vodkas, then no. I know what I'm doing. I have a clear strategy and a plan, and I am going to do it.
Right. Now, look, I'm a sparkling wine man, by the way. I'm not I'm not into vodka and stuff like that.
No, then I'm bringing you a good bottle of Graham Beck.
That sounds great.
So I have a strategy.
Yeah.
I have the code in my mind. I have planned it. I have deliberated, and I think by now, Scott, the world knows me. I am set on a thing, I'll make it happen. I might not always get it right. I'm older. I used to fly very high and make a lot of mistakes. I used to dream big and crash. I used to do the most outrageous things in companies and in businesses. And I like many other people, like Mr. Donald Trump, Warren Buffett, and even our local Mr. Rupert's, the old man Rupert. We crash and burn. We make mistakes. Richard Branson, we make huge mistakes when we have these big dreams. But there's one thing we never do. We don't look at our failure. We look at what we have done, and then we better it. And I'm one of those guys. So I started a company a couple of years ago, a fund. I dreamt about a fund, and I'm definitely not a fund manager or a banker or whatever you want to call a fund. A lot of people don't get what is a fund, so you call it a bank. But I dreamt about it, and it's existing now, and it's growing. So I have plans. I have strategy. So I believe that the majority people in this country do not want to continue with a system of a ANC draconian state that's killing itself, and that's interesting, the news coming out today, and also a EFF that is a liberal, communalistic, nationalistic ideology, and I know they'll stand with us.
Right. Now, just talking about your banking side, there was an open letter that went out on the internet to you just in the last week. And I just want to run this past you because there are a few comments made in here that you probably want to respond to.
Well, firstly, we found out Joe is not Joe.
Who is it?
I always say, when you make a fire in the bush, a big fire, why are you complaining if the hyenas come and look? You should have made a fire in the first place. So I think people are a little bit too eager to destroy me. They make mistakes.
Well, let me put this. Let's go through this letter because it does raise some interesting points. Okay, and I'll give you complete. You can just answer. Okay, so
get back to my 10 points.
Oh yeah, we'll get back to your 10 points very shortly. In fact, we covered quite a few of them now, just in other discussions.
You're
But
doing well. You're doing well.
okay, the letter starts off, Mr. De Beer, or Dr. De Beer, you have stated repeatedly that you are the president of an international bank and that you are an economist. What economic or other academical qualifications do you have? So, over to you.
Firstly, I don't have a bank. I have a fund. It's called Invest Fund Africa. Now, when you speak to the layman and you tell them a fund, they have no idea. What is a fund? Well, a fund in economic terminology is an entity registered and licensed to take in money and distribute money. That's what a fund does. To the normal person, it's called a bank. So what we do when we talk to people, instead of telling them it is an investment infrastructure fund, we tell them it's like a bank. It's a bank. We not a bank. We take in money from the world and we borrow it out to countries on the continent of Africa to grow infrastructure. So I want to make it very clear. We are an investment fund based currently as a head office in Mauritius as a fund capital structure and supported by a head office group in Spain with a partnership there. So we are not a bank, but watch the space. We have decided to look at now going into starting our own investment bank. So yes, we are talking about it. And by the way, Scott, it is on our website. So people mustn't get confused. Invest Bank Africa is holistically 100% owned by the IFA, Invest Fund Africa. I don't want people to blur the two.
Right. And
sorry,
the question was, what economic or other academic qualifications do you have?
The same as Richard Branson's, 0.
Okay. All right. So basically,
the same as Elon Musk.
You could say life skills.
No, sir. I don't know if you know it, but I have written 84 economic articles for independent media. You've not seen it?
No, I haven't. No.
Yes, I'm an economist.
Okay.
I write for independent media.
Do you have any degrees or, like a degree in mathematics or something like that?
Oh, no. I can't count. I mean, I don't think Warren Buffett can count. I think people like us, we don't want to count. We are entrepreneurs, Scott. I've always been an entrepreneur, and I don't believe in the confirmation of degrees.
Yeah.
The only degree I have is True North.
Right. Now, I have to say, as long as you don't count numbers like Jacob Zuma, you're doing fine.
No. I will. I'm not going to comment on that one. No. But no, I can count. I'm okay counting. But I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm not doing too bad for myself.
Okay.
So I have about 8 businesses, and all of them were based on idea, vision, opportunity, and the 2 big rules of economy: supply and demand.
Right. Now,
and I think that's what's needed in the country.
Absolutely. I mean, the brain drain in South Africa is shocking, and it's good to see people with skills staying and participating. Now, getting back
to I was leaving. Do you know that?
You what's that?
I was leaving the country.
Really? When were you going to leave?
Yeah. 5 November last year. I was leaving.
Why?
I was emigrating.
So what made you change your mind?
You.
Me?
Yes.
How can I make you change your mind?
I think, Scott, because when you question me, you're not questioning me to break me down. You're questioning me to get the truth out so that the people out there can read the real man. A fallible man, a man that has changed his life to give it to God. A man that has stood the test of time of being attacked and brutally murdered. But he's still here. I don't have to be here. I was leaving on the 5th of November to go to Spain and move into my new life in Barcelona. And I stopped. I don't know why, but I was asked by, and it will go into my book one day, my book, not my brother's book about me. By the way, I'm on chapter 7 of 50 chapters in my book.
Well, I hope there's one on the internet.
And there's chapter 44 is about Scott. The life and times of Neil and Scott. So no, I was leaving, Scott. I was leaving for Spain.
Yeah. Wow.
I was on my way out. I decided to stay, and the rest I think is history.
Yeah. Now, getting back to this open letter, it continues and says, Neil de Beer, you style yourself as Dr. Neil de Beer now. You've been awarded an honorary doctorate degree by the Divinity Institute, Ballsbridge University of London, and in brackets, a fake college. The ceremony and presentation of the degree have been conducted by Mr. Basil Levermont, who during the ceremony is referred to as a professor by the man next to him. Levermont presumably also bought or got or awarded himself a doctorate from your alma mater, Ballsbridge. If not, he must prove the opposite, and we will gladly apologize. It appears that Mr. Levermont might have a personal involvement or interest with this institution, which is currently being investigated. And he goes on to say, quoting verbatim from the internet, Ballsbridge University is a diploma mill that has no physical presence, recognition, accreditation of any kind anywhere in the world. It is a scam designed to earn money from people who want a shortcut degree, diploma, or certificate. Its chancellor is a prince, like the Nigerian 420 email scam. Ironically, the web domain, now this is what I found intriguing. Ironically, and this might be wrong, ironically, the web domain ballsbridge-divinity.com has been registered on the 16th of October 2020 by the very same registrant, Tukas, with a ZA mailing address as the UIM website, uimsa.org, which was registered on the 22nd of September 2020. Now, is there any affiliation between UIM and this scam university?
If I wanted to start my own university, I think I can afford 3. I don't need a scammed college or university to make me a doctor. I really don't need to, because I've been offered 3 others by great big universities on the continent. So I have cleared it that on the day that I got this anointment of a paper, there was a lady who's currently serving as a lecturer at the University of Western Cape,
right,
who's actually their lecturer, who also on the same day, in the same room at this function, also got an honorary degree.
I saw that.
Who's a doctor already.
Yeah.
So if both of us, myself and this great lady, who is the chancellor of the Indigenous Nations Degree College or Institute at the University of Western Cape, if both of us were duped, if both of us were given a piece of paper, it's flattering, but I have requested that all Joe, that he please refers it to that college who just bestowed it on me. And, you know, when you opened your discussion and you said, should you call me doctor? I said, no, thank you. Albertus de Beer is all right met by. So a title to me, I'm very happy. I'm very honored that they gave me this presence. I think what people missed was not the capping or the giving of degrees to another 13 people of quite astute value in this country. I have a list of them. Was the fact that we signed a declaration of alliance with the Griqua people on that day. And it is a great pity that people were more focused on someone getting an honorary award than actually Griqua nation under Alan Koplo V. I was wondering why Joe didn't write about that.
I can tell you about that, actually. I wrote the
Sure.
book about the Griqua people. I studied them for 30 years. I wrote the book Children of the
What a
Mist.
nation.
And
What a nation.
they,
Oh,
Adam Cock the
I'm
Fifth.
about to see
Adam Cock the
Yes.
Fifth is not a king of the Griquas. He is seen as a chief, or maybe called a king, in his little community. He has a tiny community which does not represent
Sure.
the Griquas. It's in Campbell, the small town of Campbell, which is about 30 kilometers from Griqua Town. And historically, Griqua Town is where Adam Cock the First originally had his community. And this guy is very many generations down. There are Griqua communities in Plettenberg Bay at Kranshoek, where Alan Lafleur is the paramount chief. He is the head of the Griquas in that particular area. You've got a completely different leadership in a place called Kokstad, which is in East Griqualand, where the Griquas came to in the 1850s. That there is no king of the Griqua, which is, so when you talk about Adam Cock the Fifth, you're talking about one tiny community who might be supporting you, not the wider Griqua community.
No. But Scott, I don't think it's about a king, is it? I mean, who makes you king? Who makes me king? Who made the queen king? So the question isn't about a king. The recognition of a multitude of indigenous nations in this country is very important, if you would agree.
I do. I get it. And this is why
it is vital. So what we did was, there is an indigenous council. I don't know if you know it.
Oh yes, I do.
Now we are speaking to that council. And they are recognized by state. They are recognized by government, like Controlesa.
Yeah.
Controlesa obviously is a governing parliamentary system for traditional leadership in this country. So the UIM, and here's a quick question because I want to get to that. Who's the Boerevolk leader?
The
democratic
leader?
elected.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Neither do I. You know what? They don't know themselves.
Well,
so there's 50, no. Whoa, there's 53 of them, eh?
Yeah.
So here's a question. I've just been invited by the Indabele. Do you know the Indabele?
I do.
They've invited me. They want to do exactly the same like I started with the Griqua grouping. The Indabele want to talk to me.
Okay.
Why?
Now, okay. Can we get back to the Griqua again? Just I want to give you some advice on the Griqua. The biggest and most influential group of leaders amongst the Griquas actually are under the umbrella of the Griqua National Council. That's a group that you need to speak to if you want to speak with authority on behalf of most of the Griqua people across the country. That I'm just letting you know that's the guy. And
and I will give you my word, we will get there, Scott.
Yeah, and I can tell you that Alan Lafleur's brother, Cecil Lafleur, is one of the key people within that Griqua National Council. Anyway, that's just by the by.
And we'd like to talk to him. We would love to. Yeah. We would love to.
Well, I know them both well.
Well, if you give me a number, if you can, I would appreciate it.
I'm not going to get them involved in politics because I know their views on politics.
I think it's important, as you will agree, that we are actually a group of nations in a nation.
Yeah, absolutely. This brings us back to this right-wing labeling, which I hate, because, as you said correctly just a while ago, the Boers have every right to have their own culture, their own beliefs. And I think places like Orania are so important because there they can practice and be part of a community that they
I've got a member. I have a UIM member from Orania. One.
You've infiltrated Orania. My gosh.
From Orania. On her membership form, it says Orania. I said, no. And as true as God is my witness, yeah. So we have one lady in Orania.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's making headway, that's for sure. Right, now look, I think we covered most of the points in here. Okay, we've got the
them,
racial
I think.
divide. Do you want to talk about the racial divide in South Africa?
Yeah, it's bad, Scott. It's a tenseness. It's a massive tense debate in this country, and we are perpetuating. And that's why I was so glad that I could clear up what I mean with right wing. I must apologize if it is not the right wording. I'm not talking about the conservative white Afrikaner. I'm talking about that which you in yourself know, the ultra militant right. That is what I will say from now on, if that's the right description. But I am no doubt, without any confusion, staan ek vir die regte van die Afrikaner, want ek is self 'n Afrikaner, and I will not stop fighting for them. But we cannot have the racial impasse, and Scott, it's alive. And I don't think it's a South African trademark, this racist thing. It's in America. It's across the world where you have that conflict. And I fear, and you know, Scott, I've been through it. I've been through racism. I fought apartheid. And I've never seen a country on such a precipice of racial divide prior to 94 than currently in this country. And here's the good thing. The average, normal South African, black or white, Indian or indigenous, I'll tell you what, they're sick and tired of it as well, and they just want to have a normal life. But as you said, there are political groupings in this country that are benefiting from keeping us divided.
Yeah.
And it's not the UIM.
And I tell you the scary part about all this is that the ANC are so divided now within themselves. You've got the corrupt side, which is like you've got the corrupt side, which is the Ace Magashula, the Jacob Zuma side faction, and then you've got the Ramaphosa faction, which is probably just as corrupt, but at least they're trying to keep the legal system going, whereas the legal system is in such a meltdown right now in South Africa. How are you going to fix something like that?
The worst thing is, and I think you will agree, one of our greatest voices is retiring this year. Mogoeng. You know, I have a belief in this guy. I really do. And when this guy knelt down and prayed in Parliament and in court, showing his true color, defying the Zuma camp of ostracizing him in making him believe what he wanted to believe from the other side. This man is retiring as Chief Justice of this country soon. I am saying the UIM fights for crime against it, corruption against it, and the redistribution of fair capital in this country. And if we don't get crime, corruption, and capital right, forget about education, forget about rights, forget about it. If we don't fight crime and corruption in this country, there's not a $1, £1 coming into this country. And that's why the UIM and its president, being an economist, has got a multitude of friends overseas, because we must not forget foreign direct investment. You said it, jobs. What are we going to do creating jobs? And my attitude, our policy is not about economy, it's not about flim-flam. How do I put R1 back into everybody's pocket in this country? We have a plan, we can do it, but for once in our lifetime, Scott, we must unite. We must put our sides away. I must park my INC ideology. We must park our history, because in 1994, Scott, we voted to change a country. In 2024, we better vote to save a country. And I'm very realistic. If we don't, here's a Neil de Beer new cliche. I'd like the world to hear it. If in 2024 we do not save this country, we are going to experience, are you ready for it?
Yep, go ahead.
An economic genocide. An economic genocide is coming to this country, not a human genocide. We will never go to Rwanda. I can tell you that there are reasons for that. But I'm telling you, we are facing an economic genocide in 2024.
I think we're there already, quite honestly, in South Africa. Now, I just want to talk about Maheng, because you raised a very interesting point there about
And
how
you saw,
Yep. Carry on.
sure.
Okay.
And
Now,
I don't know if you now know, every Friday we expose another governmental department on Facebook. It's called
okay.
Expose Friday.
Oh,
I
that's a
don't
good
know
idea.
if you saw what I exposed 2 weeks ago. Scott, it's crazy. And I wrote it. I now named Tito Mboweni TikTok Tito. TikTok. I said, Tito, TikTok. Listen to me.
TikTok.
TikTok. You, I'm going to be moved for that. But TikTok. I said, TikTok Tito. Tito, Titi. Listen to me. You launched and I do this without alcohol.
I'd hate to see you after alcohol.
No, it's crazy. So our budget for this year is 1.3 trillion rand, Scott. That's our budget.
Mm.
The 2021-22 budget. 1.3 trillion. Do you know what we exposed, how much they stole just out of the Zondo Commission's allegations in 3 years?
Well over $1 trillion.
1.5 trillion, Scott.
Yeah, yeah.
They stole our annual budget in 3 years.
Not bad going, is it?
This is devastating.
Hmm.
And then last week, we exposed the Department of Health. We exposed them.
When are you going to do the South African Police Service?
Matthew McKee's oversaw a health department, Scott. You know how much they lost, stolen, misappropriated in a year?
How much?
14 billion.
Oh, jeez.
So take 1.5 trillion plus the 14 billion, and next week we are going for SAPS. We are going
good.
for
That's going to be a good one. And Becky Sele.
Becky Sele.
Well, I call, okay, you know how you use that name for TikTok 20? Well, look, I've got some nicknames for these guys as well. I call Cyril Ramaphosa Hippo Eyes. Have you ever looked at him when he's giving his address and those eyes that bulge out? Just looked like a hippo. So on Loving Life, we call him Hippo Eyes. But, now getting back to Mahong. Now, he made us, he was up talking to a congregation in church, and he said that this COVID-19 and everything that's happening there is a scam, it's evil, and he hit the nail on the head as far as I'm concerned. What are the UIM's views about this totally illogical lockdown that's taking place in South Africa, which is basically speeding up this economic genocide you talk about?
It's utter rubbish. It's utter rubbish. You know, Scott.
Yeah.
I worked and still work with the CRU anti-crime unit in the informal settlements of Luwande, Kailicha, and Kaimandi. Right. I worked there. There's no lockdown, Scott. There's zero.
But there is in the middle class suburbs.
Is the can I call it affluent middle class suburbs? There is definitely abiding by lockdown. Yes,
yeah.
There is. But when you go into the informal setup, there's none. Who are we? I nearly said it. Who are we bull dusting here? who are we throwing, like in military terms?
Yeah.
Smoke grenade. This is utter rubbish. There was never a lockdown in our old townships. There wasn't. So I'm wondering, why are we still persisting on this thing who I found out the other day was constitutionally challenged about the levels that we're on? You are either pregnant or you are not. Half pregnant isn't pregnant, and that's dangerous. So you are either in lockdown or you're not in lockdown. That's it. So we as South Africans have to realize that when you go to Soweto, Diepsloot, Khayelitsha, Nyanga, we try to enforce a European global aptitude to lockdown in a place where 6 people stay in a 4 by 3 meter shack. It's not going to work, eh? It didn't work.
It can't
I'll
work.
testify. No, it can't work.
It can't work.
It cannot.
Yeah. Well, look,
So we failed.
I have to say, Neil, I find it extraordinary that you've got Bekele walking along beaches, lecturing, a guy who's taking photos on the beach because he shouldn't be there.
No.
And you've got I've seen images of an army guy with an AK-47 on a beach with the people sitting,
Arresting
nearby.
a kite surfer.
Sorry?
Arresting a kite surfer.
Yeah, with a helicopter chasing him.
Yeah,
I mean, what the heck's all that about?
But you can't go take on the gangs
Yeah.
that I have to now take on. You can't go take on cash in transit. Did you see today the YouTube clip of that cash in transit, Scott?
I've seen so many of them.
No, today one. They assassinated the guy outside an office block. So question, Bekkie, Stoeltjie, Tafeltjie, Cele. What are you doing about it?
Doing
The
nothing.
corruption in our police.
Yeah.
The absolute ill discipline where you've got Witrifuur today. The police did nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. They walked away from there with no answers, did they?
I am saying is wrong. It's wrong. And that man, Bekkie, who I know, that man must go. Or if he doesn't go, we are going to have a total collapse of law and order in this country.
Right. I totally agree with you. Now, Neil, we've pretty well gone through all the questions that you gave me, I think, but I'll give you a chance to say something at the end. But one of the questions you have here, and I think it's a very important one, tell us about Neil de Beer, the man.
Yo, you know, there's no doubt I'm tired, Scott. When I was and am still in business, and I have great passion for business. You know, I was a soldier. I was an intelligence officer. I was a operator for state when they wanted to industrialize the country. I was with Madiba. I loved him. I loved Nelson Mandela. And I've made no bones about it. So when I call myself a son of Mandela, it's not political. I had a good leader in Mandela. Because we got Mandela too late. We got him 10 years too late. I followed him. I took my shots. I'm a humble guy, find it or not. I'm actually, and I know you're not going to believe me, I'm a massive introvert. I hide away at home. I don't get on with crowds and people. So what I'm doing right now is I face my fears every day, because now in politics I can't hide away. My billboard went up today and I didn't want it. But I'm being thrown in public to be scrutinized as an individual. I'm a dad. I have 4 great kids, 3 mine and 1 adopted. I love my family. I'm in vehement love with my country, but my country hates me at certain times. No doubt last week's attack on me, which was unfounded and unnecessary, made me sit down the weekend with my son. Scott, my son came to me, my middle son, my eldest son, 16 years old, and he asked me one thing. He said, "Dad, are they going to kill you?" And I said, "Reese, what do you mean?" And he said, "Dad, are they going to kill you? And if they do, what will happen to us?" This was my son. And at that stage, after being threatened now again this week with death threats and people coming for me, Sunday's exposure on Scot Balson fighting gang. Neil's tired, Scott. Neil is starting to wonder if this was worth it. Neil became a Christian on the 27th of August last year. I am in no denial I was a man of the dark. I was a death angel. I loved war. It was a hell of a thing to give my life to something that I fought for so long. It's very hard to be a Christian. And you notice I wrote there, I would like to understand why, if people claim to be Christians, do they judge? Do they not forgive? And do they continue with us? Because I don't read the Bible like that. And I'm what they call a virgin Christian. I look at other people and I'm new.
Yeah.
I still Google if I want strength in the morning, I quickly Google on Bible for strength and I get it. And
Well, I've got a better idea for you on that, Neil. On my lovinglifetv.com forum, if you go to the forum link, there's a fellow there whose name is Marius, and he does daily bread, where you actually got a few pieces out of the Bible, and he then it gives an explanation to what it's all about, and it's very, very interesting. You should have a think about having a look at that in the morning.
Can I make one declaration to you?
Please go ahead.
And I want to make it emphatically on your channel, because I think you may be one of the people in my political career
Sorry,
at all.
Could you repeat that? You started, you're one of the people in my political career, then the internet crashed, but you're back.
Scott, you are one of the people that in my political career of the past 6 months has interviewed me the most.
Right.
In this 6 months. You are the one that has had with me the longest discussion. You know me more now. I want to tell you that I am in no way an agent, a ANC stooge, a placement to divide anybody in this country. I want to categorically tell you that. I have proclaimed I am never in my life as the president of the UIM going to negotiate with the ANC or the EFF in my life. I have said so. I have declared it now. I am not going to negotiate on the 8 metros that I'm going for with the EFF for power. The DA is going to, they have said so. Other political parties who want power, Scott, who want metros because of money, the UIM will never negotiate with an EFF or an ANC council, and we will rather lose power. So I want to make it categorically clear. I am stating it, that no more is the EFF or the ANC an enemy of state. They've become an enemy of the people, and therefore I am going to fight them. And I cannot and will not, and I want you to know it, Scott. Keep me by my words and never let me forget that. Okay. We are fighting for a new country, a new system, freedom for the people that was promised and that is currently become a carcass and hyenas. You are very right. Ace Magashule, Didi Mabuza, and Cyril Ramaphosa and his cohorts are at a battle of war, not for the soul of our country anymore, but for their pockets. And I am sorry, I despise them for that. And so does the majority of white and black South Africans that have decided to unite. That's my statement. I want to make that tonight. Record it and keep you as the custodian of my mind.
Right. Now, I just need to give you some paternal advice, Neil, seeing that I'm the old fart in the room, if I can put it that way.
Who makes it funny?
Now, you mentioned a short while ago about giving up because you're just tired. Let me tell you about my journey with my Loving Life channel, and I'm going to keep it very succinct and short and sweet. I have had several YouTube channels, and because of my views, which YouTube don't like because they're not left-wing leaning, I've had all 3 of those channels taken down, by YouTube. This is called censorship, but that's what they've done. Now, with God's help, about 6 months ago, I started setting up this lovinglifetv.com because I had this knowledge that, you know, YouTube were after me and they were going to shut down my YouTube channels. And I set this I set up this lovinglifetv.com channel, totally independent of YouTube. It's our own platform. It has grown exponentially. Now, there were moments during that period when, you know, I was being attacked by YouTube. They took down Loving Life, which had close to 100,000 subscribers. They took it down in the middle of a live stream. In the middle of a live stream, I was talking to a fellow, and all of a sudden the screen went blank, and it says, "This video has been taken down for breaching community standards." When we were talking about Bitcoin, you know, this is how ridiculous it was. But
Surprise.
yeah, but you know, it's funny how God works, because I was driven to set up lovinglifetv.com. I was driven. I had no option, because I knew YouTube would keep on taking down my channels there. And it's the best thing I could have done. So in your journey as a child of Christ, you're going to have challenges put in your way. And you, you're a smart man. You will find opportunities that come in that actually are better than what you were doing. And that's the vision you've got to look for. That's just my advice to you. So I understand where you're at. I've been there many times.
Thanks for you not giving up as well, Scott.
All
I
right.
find you refreshing. I find you straightforward. I find you as a person that, I'm always nervous. I'm more nervous when Scott calls than carte blanche or 60 minutes. I can take, but I like it because you keep me on my toes. You keep me informed. And I will never be able to get to a point where I get tired of you. I am tired. I have a great group of people, and I want to give you my word. I will last until the end game. I'm here to stay, and let's see what 2024 brings, Scott. I'm here. I'm not. I told the lady today I'm plugged into the God, to his generator. I don't know where I get the energy, but I'm sticking. And Scott, I will take your advice. I'm sticking.
All right, guys, we got another little internet glitch. Gotta love the internet in South Africa, haven't you, Neil?
Oh, I love it. It's like Eskom. I call them Esgan. Niks kom hier na toe nie. So Scott, I'm saying, you are going to see still a lot like this. I might lose more of this, but I'm going to be with you and your people, and I'll always be available when I can. I will never not let the moment pass not to be on your program. And you are fair. You might be hard, but you're a fair man, and I'll take fair behalf.
Well, you know, I would rather talk to you openly about things that people are saying, so that you know about them and you can respond to them. Because once you respond to them, you've covered it. But you know, as you said famously, you go to a restaurant and you get a bad steak, and that guy walks away and he doesn't say anything to the restaurant owner, but he goes and tells everyone in the community, "I had a shit. Okay, I had a bad steak." I had a bad steak.
So you can say that.
And then the restaurant owner says, "Why has all my traffic suddenly disappeared?" So on this channel, we will always call a spade and challenge you about things that we think you need to respond to.
And it's a privilege. It's a privilege, and I will remain me. I will remain focused on changing the Republic of South Africa.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Neil. We've had a pretty exciting discussion. I mean, we covered a lot of ground. I just want to thank our moderators for doing a fantastic job in the side chat. We've got a big audience tonight, I can tell you. I'm not surprised, because people love to hear what you have to say.
Thank you.
Neil,
I even wore red. Passion.
Okay, Neil, take care, and everybody have a great evening, and please share this video widely, and make sure if you haven't registered on lovinglifetv.com yet that you do so, because once we've upgraded and moved to our new, bigger platform because of the growth of this channel or this platform, we are going to be sending out daily emails with all the news updates, who the live streams are going to be involving. So if you don't register, you won't get that information. It's that simple. Okay, guys, take care and bye for now. I'll leave the side chat on for a few minutes so you can say your goodbyes. Thanks, Neil. Take care, and I'm sure we'll see you again soon on a live stream.
Absolutely, and promote that TV channel. I'm going to subscribe.
Okay, good man.
Cheers, God bless.
Okay, cheers, mate. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.